Hello, how you doing? It's MrDoTheMath, and today I want to talk to you guys about multiplying polynomials, right? And so multiplying polynomials is like the prelude to, like, we're gonna look at double distribute, and hopefully it helps you guys at the end of this video. So, there we go. Our main word, distribute. Right? When you're multiplying polynomials, you're going to be distributing, which means that, that means that there's going to be a number of variable outside of the parentheses, and he's going to be given to everything that's inside. All right, so multiplying a number of variable times the polynomial, right? That's what goes on this line. So, for instance, if you got x times x plus 5, right? When you distribute, that means that everybody inside of this parenthesis is going to get an x. So rule of thumb is just to draw an arrow to make sure that you take care of the distribution of that last term. So it'll be x times x, which will be x to the second power, plus x times 5, which is 5x. And you're done here because there are no more like terms. So that's what you're doing with distributing, right? So your first example kind of looks the same way. It's just x times x minus 5. Same thing. X times x minus 5, right? X times x squared, x minus 5, negative 5x. And bam, you're done. Distribute. So whatever's on the outside is given to everybody on the inside. If there is no plus or minus here. If they're next to each other, that means to multiply. So when you distribute, you're multiplying. Okay? Now, let's look at a harder one. Negative 3y squared times 5 times the quantity 5y to the 4th plus 6y squared plus 2. Again, distribute. Everybody, there's no plus here, so everybody gets negative 3y squared. So you draw this arrow. Negative 3y squared times 5y to the 4th. It's going to be 3 times 5, negative 3 times 5, and then y to the second times y to the 4th. You add those exponents, so it'll be y to the 6th. Then you got negative 3y squared times 6y squared, which would be minus 18. 3 times 6, negative 3 times 6. And then y to the second times y to the second, 2 plus 2, 4. And finally, the last one, negative 3y squared times 2, which would give you negative 6y squared. No like terms, that's your answer. Okay. Now, let's get to the fun. Double distribute. Double distribute. Double distribute. We'll just come over here. Right, double distribute. All right, so some people call it double distribute, and I like to call it FOIL. FOIL method, all right? The FOIL method. And you're double distributing when you're multiplying two polynomials into each other. So if, for instance, we look at this problem here where you have x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 5. You're multiplying both of these into each other. So when they say you double distribute, that means the x goes into the x and the 5, and the 3 goes into the x and the 5. Okay? And FOIL is a mnemonic that helps you to remember to do to multiply everybody. So FOIL, F means first. The first term times the first term. So it's going to be first term times the first term. So it's x times x, which is going to be x squared. O means the two outer terms, right? Outer times the outer. So that's x times 5. This will be a 5x. I represents inner, the two inner terms. 3 times x, right? Which would be 3x. And then L represents the last terms. Last term, 3 times 5, which is 15. Right? If you look at it, it looks like a little face with glasses and the ears and a smile, right? If you don't see it, you're hating. All right, so anyway, so then now you want to put these in order by, in decreasing order from exponents. So it'll be x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 15. And then from here you simplify by adding your like terms together, or combining your like terms. And in this case, it'll be 5 plus 3, which is 8x plus 15. All right? So remember FOIL. First times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, last times last. All right? Let's look at another example. Let's look at another problem. All right? Another double distribute, right? So we're going to keep this here. All right, so the problem says 2a minus 1 times the quantity 3a plus 2. All right, first terms, 2a times 3a, 6a squared, 6a squared. All right, outer times outer, 2a times 2, 4a. Inner, negative 1 times 3a, negative 3a. And then last, negative 1 times 2, negative 2. So let's put them in order by power. So that's 6a squared plus 4a minus 3a minus 2. This is plus 4a because it's positive. All right, combine these like terms. Same sign adding, keep different sign subtract. So it's gonna be 6a squared plus a minus 2. And there you have it. It's double distributing at its finest for you. All right. What if you have a an expression that has that doesn't quite look like this or like that? What happens? Let's see. It's your last example, and I'll leave you alone. So if I have 4x plus 7 times 2x minus 3. Well, in this situation, they're not in parentheses, so you're not double distributing. However, there is a number next to the parentheses, and there's no plus or minus sign there. So what that means is you just have to single distribute this 7 through the parentheses. So bring the 4x down, right? And then you'll distribute 7 times 2x, which would be 14x, and then 7 times negative 3, which would be negative 21. Now from here, we combine our like terms. You got your 14 and your 4x. That gives us 18x minus 21, okay? So, parentheses mean something. If you don't have parentheses, then you need to pay attention to what's connected to the parentheses. If you do have parentheses on both of them, then you're going to double distribute or apply the FOIL method, all right? I wrote it out like this so that you can see it clearly as to what you're doing. But you can very well like do your operations and then put it down underneath and then simplify. All right, always simplify by combining your like terms and then you'll be good. All right, so that is multiplying polynomials. Straightforward. All right?
King of my city, king of my country, king of my homeland, king of the filthy, king of the fallen.